Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today we have a very special guest with us. This is my son Kaiser, and he's a YouTuber himself. He has his own YouTube channel. What's it called, Kaiser?
Space King Plays.
Space King Plays.
Yes, with a Z.
With a Z, that's right. Space King Plays. And what's your channel all about?
All about Roblox gaming and Minecraft.
Kaiser's got a few good videos which you can learn from if you're into gaming. If you're not interested in gaming, maybe your kids are interested in gaming or the kids in your life. So please make sure you subscribe to his channel. What's it called again?
Space King Plays.
Space King Plays. So the reason why I have Kaiser with me today is because a lot of people ask me what type of products suit them best and what the difference is between the many products, because there's so much variety out in the shops now and people are just finding it a little bit overwhelming to pick what kind of product would work best for them and what the difference is between various products. So I thought, why not bring someone that is completely clueless when it comes to makeup and ask the questions, hoping that he will actually ask some of the questions that you might have when you want to consider buying a product and just don't know which one to pick. How does that sound, Kaiser?
Good.
Great. So let's get started. I've got a number of products laid out at the table for him and I'm just going to let him pick and choose what we talk about first. So what will be your first pick?
These three.
Do you have any idea what they might be?
Well, this one must be an eraser for something, because it literally says eraser.
Okay.
And I have no idea what this would do. And I have no idea what this would do.
Okay.
I have no idea what all they do except for this one.
Right, so it erases something.
Yes.
What do you think it might erase?
Definitely not pencil.
Not pencils. So what we have here is a number of concealers. A concealer is used to cover up blemishes that you have on your face. It could be redness, it could be spots, it could be acne, it could be any kind of darkness, pigmentation, or darkness underneath your eyes. I could get into something called color correcting, but that's going to be way too complicated for a beginner in makeup. If you watch makeup videos regularly, you would have probably come across the two most common color correctors. One of them is a green color corrector, which neutralizes redness, and the other one is an orange color corrector, which neutralizes blue. Now I'm going to tell you to forget about everything. Okay? I want you to really forget about color correcting. The best thing you want to do is get a neutral shade concealer. Now generally a yellow undertoned concealer would cancel out any kind of blemish, any kind of marks that you have. And then it's a matter of picking the right type of concealer for you and your budget. So starting off with the Clarins one. Now this is a dupe for the YSL Touche Eclat. It's called Eclat Minute. I would say it's light to medium coverage, so it wouldn't really work if you have really dark circles under the eyes. But it's super easy to use. It comes with a brush and all you need to do is just blend it in with either a beauty blender or use your ring finger to blend it in. The other two, which are my favorites, are by Maybelline. So we have the eraser, which doesn't erase pencils. So this comes with a sponge applicator, which you can just put on under the eyes and over your eyelids. What I found personally about this is that it has great coverage, it's easy to use, but sometimes it can pill, which means it starts to crumb up, like you get little bits of fluff. So be very careful when you use that. However, coverage and simplicity of use is amazing. The fullest coverage from Maybelline is the Fit Me, and I think all of their Fit Me range is really, really good. Good value for money and excellent coverage. So this one would cover red spots. It covers up the dark circles under the eyes. It covers up the brown spots that I have from my pigmentation. It's an all-rounder.
What about this one?
Right, okay. So this is a concealer wheel. They're generally wax-based. Sometimes they're more creamy-based, but you have to be very careful with how you apply it, and I don't recommend these for mature skin because it does tend to pull the skin a lot.
But all the things look very similar except for the third one.
Right, you mean the shades look
yes,
different?
The shades.
Very similar?
So like these two, they're very similar, and then this one's completely different.
That is very true. That's a very good point. So you generally would not need to buy a concealer wheel, okay? No matter how much an influencer insists that you really need this in your life, you really don't, unless you're a makeup artist. Because This comes with 3 different shades. Now in my case I have used them all because one of them is actually a more neutral color, which is that one, and I can use that for my red pimples or any redness that I have. But generally under the eyes I used this color, which is more of a coral color. So this really neutralizes out my dark circles. Whereas that one, it's neither here nor there. I don't use it. It doesn't really fit with my skin tone at all. So yeah, it's pointless. So what's next, Kaiser?
What about these 3?
So this is a cream foundation. The next one, that one, if you open the lid, it's another type of foundation. Now this is a wax-based foundation, and this is generally the thickest type of foundation. Can be temperamental. And this one is another cream foundation, but the beauty of this one is it comes with its own concealer, which is exactly the same shade as the foundation. This concealer is really full coverage concealer. It's not too waxy, so it does melt with the skin. It doesn't look too thick, and only apply it where you need to. And by the way, this is my favorite foundation of all time. This is by Lancome, and it's a Teint Visionnaire. The foundation itself is medium to full coverage. You can build it up to full coverage. It works really well with all skin types and all ages as well. So it works really well for mature skin. Now the next one is the wax foundation. Generally their coverage is extreme. So now I'm going to talk a little bit more about the stick foundations. Stick foundations generally contain a large amount of wax in them, which is why I say they can be a little bit temperamental. Now the coverage is usually quite full, so you can thin them out if you want to using a mixing medium, or you can use them on their own if you like the full coverage look. Now I recommend that you always warm them up on the back of your hands, especially in winter when it's cold, because it needs the warmth to be able to blend more easily with the face and with the skin, and it makes the application a lot easier this way. If you use it with a brush, then you get the full coverage out of it, but if you use your fingers, the warmth of your fingers and the natural oils in your fingers will thin it out as well. I recommend you stay away from stick foundations if you're a mature lady, because it does have the tendency of accumulating between the fine lines and wrinkles. Now this is another type of liquid foundation, okay? This is very creamy and it's also very highly pigmented. Now the beauty of this one is that you can really decide how much coverage you want out of it. You can use your fingers for a medium coverage, you can use a brush for full coverage, or you can mix it up again with a mixing medium and make it light to medium coverage. This one, very, very dewy. So if you have oily skin, stay away from this one and stick either to the wax-based foundation or a water-based foundation like the Lancome. Right, so what do we have here? What does it say?
Chisel Cheeks Contour Kit.
So we have, when you open it up, we have a creamy product. Oh hi, there's your face. So this is a cream contour kit, and this one is
The exact same as that one, but just with less.
right, powder. Whereas these ones were
Soft.
Honestly, if you're not a makeup artist, ditch them. You don't need them. You don't need them. You just need one shade. There is a difference in these, and that's the undertone that they used. If you look at this one, this is actually a warm brown, whereas this one is a cool brown, okay? So it doesn't mean that you can work with all skin tones, no. The reason why we do contouring is because we want to create a shadow or depth. We want to give ourselves some dimension to the face, so we need to use a cool toned contour. Now powder contours, make sure you only put them on once you've set the foundation with setting powder or fixing powder. One thing I'd like to add before we move on to the next product is that I see often people contouring twice. So first they contour with a creamy product, and then they do everything else, and then they come back at the end and contour with powder. So there's really no point in doing that. All you're doing is just building up a lot of product on your face, and it's guaranteed to look cakey, or it's going to start freaking out and breaking up over time. So my recommendation to you is to save time and save yourself money, is to leave out the creamy contour and just stick to powder. What's your next pick?
These two things.
These two things. These are one of my favorite products. That is something called gel liner. This can be used as eyeliner. You see that line that I have up there?
No.
We use these to create a line over the eyes. Now the reason I gave him gel liners only and not liquid liners, because liquid liners, as we know, come in many different forms, is because if you are a beginner, I really recommend you get a gel liner, because you can control it a lot more easier, and you can play around with it depending on what kind of brush you use, how thick the brush is, and what you feel like on the day. So my favorite ones are from Inglot, number 77 in black, or if you want a cheaper alternative, the LA Girl one is really amazing. They're both nice and soft. They don't dry out quickly like many others do, and they have a really solid pigment. They're both smudge proof and they last a really long time. They don't print over your eyelids either. Thank you. Okay, what do we have here? We have a very loose powder, which we just experienced now.
You do not hold it from the top, because that happened before.
People ask me about translucent or loose powder and pressed powder. They both are meant to do the same thing. The pressed powders often, not always, often come with a pigment, which means you can use them either as a foundation on its own, or you can apply it over the top of a foundation.
Very loose powder.
Loose powders also come, yeah, it is very loose. It really flies everywhere. Loose powders also come in different shades, but the pigment is usually less than the pressed powder. The pressed powders is that it really blurs out any open pores that you have, so it's really good for those with open pores or enlarged pores. And the favorite affordable one is the Fit Me by Maybelline, of course. In my opinion, the Crayola loose powder is better than any other loose powder that I've, and it's probably the same product as the Becca Cosmetics one, but shh, don't tell anyone.
What are these and what is the difference with these?
These are eyelash curlers, right? And not many people are comfortable using them because they worry about pulling out eyelashes. Now, we have different types of eyelash curlers, so you can see the difference between these two is obviously the handles, but besides the handles is that the opening in this one is a lot wider than this one.
Yeah.
So this one would work better for those who are still new at curling their lashes, also have bigger eyes. Whereas this one, you have to be really precise in doing that and be very careful. You can't do a quick job with these ones. What you want to look for when you buy an eyelash curler is that it has a really good press. Okay, so when you press it, it has this bounce when you press it up, because this part here, which is the elastic band, is what really does the job and obviously keeps your eyelashes secure. If you have hooded eyes, make sure you lift up your eyelids before you press your eyelashes together, otherwise you might risk getting the skin in there. Oh, finally we have, so it is the Ordinary and Maybelline Face Studio Primer, the clear one, not the green or orange ones, stay away from those please. And then I have a silicone primer, and this one's by Ofra. The difference between them is the Maybelline Face Studio Prime Pore Minimizing Primer does exactly what it says. So it's really good for those with oily skin or enlarged pores. Thank you. The Ordinary High Adhesive Silicone Primer is actually a more creamy product, not as silicone-y as most silicone primers are.
Silicone, but it isn't gel.
Exactly, and this is what silicone primers generally look like, whereas this one, it looks more like a cream, but it still contains silicone.
This one looks like gel.
Exactly.
Because it literally is. Okay, that is a lot different. That looks a lot like hair gel. And what do I do?
The Ordinary's High Adhesive Silicone Primers has the creamy component to it, which makes it really good for those with dry skin. And I like using that a lot on my mature clients. The silicone primers are generally more watery, so it is also very good for oily skin. However, you can use it on all skin types. And that's it. If there's any products that I've missed or that you'd like me to explain more in depth, please feel free to leave the comments down below and let me know what you want to see next. Well, thank you so much, Kaiser, for your help today. You've been a very good assistant.
My pleasure, thank you.
Did you have fun?
Yes.
We had a little
fun dropping stuff accidentally.
We had a few hiccups, didn't we?
Yes.
Alright. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed already, and share my videos, and don't forget to subscribe to Space King Plays channel for gaming. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you
We'll see you
next
time.
time.